On March 17th, shortly 2 weeks ago, at the DC Blockchain Summit, the SEC chairman, Paul Atkins, told the audience, well, you should find something that's in your inbox. Everyone's phones lit up across the room, and the SEC and CFTC just dropped a bomb, a 68-page joint interpretive release that classifies every type of digital asset under their whole framework for the first time. This is after a decade of regulation by enforcement, where the SEC first sued every single company that they didn't like and made the rules clear. But now we have an actual framework. There are 16 tokens which are officially commodities, not securities. And they're not just utility tokens or Bitcoin. They even have meme coins and NFTs under their own categories. Stablecoins are included in this treatment as well. And for the first time, the SEC acknowledges that investment contracts can indeed end. So even if a crypto gets identified first as a security, later on, they can still become digital commodities. This is the single most important crypto regulatory document since forever, since the SEC first acknowledged Bitcoin's existence. So today I'm breaking down this exact document, the 5 categories within it, the 16 different tokens that they have identified, which are digital commodities, and the other types of assets like NFTs and meme coins, where do they fall in, and what this means for your portfolio, and whether this whole thing is going to become law or if there is some more hurdles to jump through. Okay, let's get right into it. So I want to start off with just the presentation of the this news piece. So there are not that many releases you need to watch for this. You can go ahead and Google this or type this into your ChatGPT or Claude. SEC clarifies the application of federal securities laws to crypto assets. This was released on March 17th, and this is the exact piece that we will be discussing today. So long story short, after more than a decade of uncertainty, this interpretation will provide market participants with a clear understanding of how the Commission treats crypto assets under federal securities laws. This is what regulatory agencies are supposed to do, draw clear lines in clear terms, the SEC chairman said. It also acknowledges that what the former administration refused to recognize, which is that most crypto assets are not themselves securities. And it reflects the reality that investment contracts can come to an end. So this is just the rough breakdown, the news release. And there isn't a specific release document here. So you have to find this on your own. You can Google this if you want the full 68-pager. It's called Application of the Federal Securities Law to Certain Types of Crypto Assets and Certain Transactions Involving Crypto Assets. Very long name, but you Google this and you'll see this hosted on the SEC's website as a PDF. There is also a fact sheet that's a shorter form summary, which is linked on the resource section on this page on the right-hand side. Resource section on the right. So let's first look at the fact sheet just for a bit of a breakdown. And I'm going to zoom into the center here. Here we go. So there are 5 digital asset categories now, which are not securities. Actually, no, 4 that are not securities, 1 that is security. So the Commission classified all crypto assets into categories based on their characteristics, use, and functions, and analyzed each category under the definition of security. So first, you have digital commodities. These are not securities. Instead, they are crypto assets that are intrinsically linked to and derive their value from the programmatic function of a crypto system that is functional. as well as supply and demand dynamics, rather than from the expectation of profits from the essential managerial efforts of others. This is the main thing that concerns tokens. If you look at the full PDF release, in the digital commodities section, after describing what digital commodities are, they gave a list of 16 coins that are digital commodities, which are, in no particular order, in alphabetical order: Aptos, AVAX, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Chainlink, Dogecoin, Ethereum Ether, Hedera HBAR, Litecoin, Polkadot, Shiba Inu, Solana, Stellar, Tezos, and XRP. These are the 16 coins that are officially digital commodities. So, what are the key criteria for this? The main summaries here is that a digital commodity needs to be functional. So the easiest way for it to do so is to be used as a governance rights in a voting system, and a functional crypto system may require users to pay transaction or gas fees in the system's native digital currency. These gas fees, in addition to units of the digital commodity newly generated by the protocol, typically are used as an incentive mechanism to reward participation in and use of the associated functions of a crypto system. This is the clearest term put out. We have looked at something like this before. Why is everyone building a proof of stake blockchain? It's precisely because of this. How do you put all these together? Where you see here, the digital commodity conveys technical rights, such as, in order to enable users to participate in its consensus by staking or locking, it gives governance rights, and it's used to pay gas fees. That is a proof of stake blockchain. If you only have a token, it's very hard for there to be consensus because there's no chain, and it's very hard for you to say there's transaction fees. So that is why everyone is trying to do these kind of layer one chains. Now, out of all of these tokens here, these 16, it's very interesting for one that doesn't fit, and that's Shiba Inu. I don't exactly know why, but every single other one is a layer one blockchain, or it has like utility consensus when it comes to Chainlink, because Chainlink has a validator network. Even though it doesn't run smart contracts, it does run its own network for Chainlink nodes, which do have staking, they do have gas fees, and they do have governance, and they clearly have utility. Now, even Dogecoin has its own layer one blockchain. Dogecoin is its own chain. It's a proof of work chain. Shiba Inu, maybe they are taking the Shiba Inu layer 2 and saying, hey, that's the way that there is staking involved. But I don't know why Shiba Inu is here. Everything else makes sense. It fits this exact framework, which is basically a layer 1 blockchain that's proof of stake, or it needs to have governance, or it's proof of work, but it has been running for a very long time, such as Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and it needs to be used to pay gas fees. So that is the clearest path that's laid out in this first category, that is digital commodities. So what does this mean for the future of other coins? Well, we are going to see more and more chains. Whether you like it or not, most tokens are going to want to do some sort of a chain. So then you can have a consensus mechanism on top of it, whatever the function is you want to achieve. You can have staking, you can have validators, you can have gas fees using that token to pay for transactions. It is what it is. Okay, so if you want to become a digital commodity, that looks like what that is. Now, they also have these digital collectibles, I honestly don't know why Shiba Inu is not a digital collectible. Instead, it's digital commodity. To each their own, I guess. But when you look at this list, okay, any cryptos right now that is a layer one blockchain that's similar to these, proof of work, proof of stake, runs smart contracts, runs DeFi, probably will fit into digital commodities. It's the same framework that we have covered before, where in the Clarity Act, eventually they will have a graduation process where your chain, in order to become a digital commodity for your coin, it needs to have a certain probably validator set. It needs to have a certain distribution of the token supply to your token holders. It probably needs to have a certain period that it runs. You need to have maybe even how decentralized your validator set is among the world, things of that nature. So I think that's pretty clear. Digital commodities is clearly tied to the running of a consensus algorithm powering a layer one blockchain or even layer two blockchain. Okay, next, you have digital collectibles. So digital collectibles are designed to be collected and or used and may represent or convey rights to artwork, music, videos, trading cards, in-game items, or digital representations or references to the internet memes, see, characters, current events, or trends, among other things. This is why I think Shiba Inu really should be this. It's an internet meme. It's not a commodity. I honestly don't understand why. You could say Dogecoin is because it's own blockchain, but I don't get it. But let's look at it more in depth here. So digital collectibles, they have some examples here. Examples of digital collectibles available in the markets today based on our understanding of their characteristics, terms, and functions are include CryptoPunks, which is NFTs on the Ethereum network, Chromie Squiggles. It's a generative art NFT. Okay, it's programmatically generated. Fan tokens. These are things like the tokens related to football clubs on, for example, SoRare or Chili's network. Tokens related to football players, sports players. These are the most obvious cases of fan tokens. I don't know if creator tokens really fit here because they say fan tokens. For example, if I make a creator token, I don't know if you can call that like very easily a fan token, because then anyone can make that case. So really, I think they're talking about sports fans tokens. WIF, okay, very interesting. Why is WIF a digital collectible, the meme coin, but Shiba Inu is a digital commodity? I don't get it. It's so weird. I don't get it. For memes, it looks like there is a certain pipeline for memes to become not a security. But do they fall into digital commodity or digital collectible? I don't know. Like, I honestly can't give you the difference between Shiba Inu and WIF. So I think they should be collectible instead of commodity, but maybe that doesn't even matter that much. I think maybe what matters the most is that they are not securities. Okay. Here are some examples. So you see WIF here is stock with hat, the meme coin. Fan tokens. So they put it as Socios fan tokens, a very specific platform. Socios, these are related to sports teams in football. Yes, football, gaming, fighting, motorsports, rugby. So you see not creator tokens. A Barcelona fan token, Juventus fan token, PSG fan token, etc. Okay, related to a football club. And then you have Vcoin. This one is very interesting. This one I haven't heard of before until this SEC document. So this is, I don't even know what this is. It just says Vcoin is powering this like metaverse platform. And It's honest. Who can tell me what this is? I honestly don't know what this is. No idea. So maybe Metaverse is making a comeback. I don't know. What is IMVU? Okay, what is that? Let me look this up. See, it's like a 3D avatar social app. What is this? It's probably a big company, but I've never heard of it. And what makes them unique? You know, I honestly don't know. But apparently, this is a this coin is a digital collectible. Okay, so maybe coins related to Metaverse will be okay as digital collectibles. It's just what it is. So out of this list, okay, what I think is interesting is CryptoPunks are not dead. NFTs, the top of the line NFTs, CryptoPunks is not dead. No matter what you like or hate, the SEC decides. Okay, the SEC decides what's legit and what's not, and they say CryptoPunks is legit. It's a collectible, so it's a collectible. That's it. I think CryptoPunks will have a bright future. Chromie Squiggles, I don't know why it's here. It's probably just the best representation of a liquid enough AI generative art NFT, but there are so many different ones like Fidenzas, you know, like all of this. There's so much bullshit there. So I don't know about that. Fan tokens, I get. Okay. I honestly get. I think they are more like utilities instead of collectibles, but calling them collectibles makes more sense. These are real partnerships with these football clubs, with these sports clubs. So that makes sense. With the point on meme coins is really vague here. I think Doge, Shiba Inu, WIF, you can take these three and say, okay, once we have clear SEC ruling and Clarity Act comes in, these three memes will be okay. They can trade on all of the major exchanges, even in the US, because they are not digital securities. Now, because they are in two categories, digital commodities and digital collectibles, I don't know what the clear pipeline will be for other memes to become similar to these. I don't know. But at least there are three options, which is maybe good enough. If you want some meme coin exposure, you buy Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, WIF, you're good. I guess that's that. Okay, and you can say, okay, maybe you go by ecosystem. Dogecoin is its own chain. It's proof of work. Shiba Inu is EVM based. WIF is Solana based. And there you have it. You cover basically all the technology stacks. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. And Vcoin, I just don't know. I'm not comfortable investing in the metaverse at all at the moment. So that's digital collectibles. These are the couple things that I think will continue to be around for the next cycle. CryptoPunks, Chromie Squiggles, I guess. Fan tokens, yes. With Doge, Shiba Inu. Basically it. Okay, next. See, they even say here, a crypto asset may be offered and sold initially as a meme coin that has no functionality with an associated functional crypto system, but later become a digital commodity because it becomes a functional within an associated functional crypto system. So I guess this is describing Shiba Inu. Yeah, with meme coins, just so weird. Meme coins typically are acquired for artistic, entertainment, social, and cultural purposes, and their value is driven by supply and demand rather than by any essential managerial efforts of others. This is just so vague. So vague. Because anyone can make a meme. So what really makes it fair enough? Fair game enough? I don't know. Okay, but we know that some memes will become not securities. We just don't know what the process is. Okay, third category, digital tools. These are crypto assets that perform a practical function such as a membership, ticket, credential, title instrument, or identity badge. Some examples of these are Ethereum name service domain names, ENS NFTs, CoinDesk's Microcosmos NFT consensus ticket. So only 2 examples here. Very interesting. Very interesting. So as a example, ENS names, they will continue to have value. So I know people who collect 3-digit numbered ENS and 3-character ENS. Okay, those always had a value, pretty high value, and it looks like they will continue to have liquidity and value in the future because they will be not securities. You can say other domain name systems. So the ones that come to mind, there is no default Solana naming system. That's probably why it's kind of weird. And they can't really put any specific one here. Whereas on Ethereum, it's very clear. It's ENS. What else is there? I think BNB has like Space ID, which is the canonical one. What else is canonical? Yeah, you really want like one system that really represents the official names on that one ecosystem. Solana doesn't have just a single one. You could say domain names, like unstoppable domains. Maybe there's some, long-term value in that. But again, unstoppable domains, they just keep expanding into like hundreds of different domain suffixes. So that's probably why it's too much. Okay, it's kind of, it seems like it's limitless. So this one is interesting. CoinDesk Microcosm NFT consensus ticket. What is that? Why is it here? Let's look into this. Let me look at this. Digital tools. This is from January 2024. CoinDesk brings back Microcosm's NFT consensus ticket. Minting is live for the 1,000 run collection, which is a ticket that represents 1,000 tickets to Consensus, the event in 2024. NFTs, are they here? This one? See, oh my god, this whole website is 404 and it doesn't even exist anymore. What is this? Why is this here? I mean, I'm gonna have to try to see if this even trades right now on OpenSea. But I guess this is an example that NFT tickets are okay. They are not securities, and they might have long-term value as a digital tool. It's curious because this section, it really says like membership, credential, title instrument, identity badge. You could say, okay, ENS is an identity badge. The consensus NFT ticket is a ticket. Is it a credential? Not really. Is it a membership? Not really. I would say there are so many more like NFTs that could become membership club things. For example, like soulbound NFTs. The most successful ones come to mind, like VFriends, still have very high value. Membership, its identity, its credential, its ticket to VCon. I really like VFriends. what else? Like from ARC, okay? Those are soul-bound NFTs that represent membership, also represents tickets to their events. It's identity because it has your like soul-bound personality in each of the NFT. It's curated to you. It even has titles. Okay, are you which tier are you? So I don't know why they don't put more NFT membership, soul-bound things in here. They even say digital tools are often non-transferable and soul-bound. But then they use ENS, which is not soul-bound. So I don't understand. I don't understand. There's probably a lot more things that are potentially fitting for this category. I think this category has the most speculative potential. If you want to look at some things that you can get your hands on that are digital tools fitting into this category. Stablecoins need to be coming from a permitted payment stablecoin issuer. These are not gold custodians. If you just run a gold vault, you're not a payment stablecoin issuer. So I think stablecoins really only apply to fiat currency backed stablecoins, not gold backed. Okay. Finally, digital securities. So when they identify digital securities, these are financial instruments that are enumerated in the definition of a security that is formatted as or represented by a crypto asset, where the record of ownership is maintained in whole or in part on or through one or more crypto networks. Okay. Tokenized securities generally fall into two categories: securities tokenized on or behalf of the issuers of such securities, or securities tokenized by third parties unaffiliated. So very simply put, when you have an existing security, you put that on chain as a tokenized version, obviously that's a digital security. So tokenized Tesla stock, Nvidia stock, tokenized ETFs, tokenized mutual funds, tokenized, anything that's an existing security. In the same sense, tokenized oil, tokenized gold are not digital securities, because that makes the most sense. Nobody controls oil. So as long as it's a pure tokenization form, that's not a security. What's interesting here is they didn't really say the existing altcoins that are not in this list yet, whether they will be digital securities or not. That's later on in this section. So let's look at here. The commission also addressed how a non-security crypto asset may become subject to an investment contract. So these are the altcoins, let's say the top 100 altcoins, which are technically, utility tokens, but they are not clearly digital commodities yet. So we need to wait for the whole Clarity Act, because in the Clarity Act, they will outline a graduation pathway for projects that launch through a token sale first, which are classified as a digital security, to become a digital commodity later on. But that's not in this document. They just said, hey, we see these 16 cryptos as digital commodities, and we see WIF as a digital collectible, but we don't tell you how. Okay. Next, they talked about airdrops. Certain crypto asset disseminations known as airdrops do not involve an investment of money under the Howey test. They say certain crypto assets. Let's look at what they said about airdrops here. Basically says the recipient should not be providing the issuer with money, goods, services, or other considerations in exchange for the airdropped non-security crypto asset. Okay, I guess that makes sense. So you can't incentivize certain activity too much. For example, for like Eigenlayer, if you had to stake a huge amount through Eigenlayer, because EigenLayer sits on top of Ethereum. In order to function, they need to have a lot of people stake Ethereum through EigenLayer, so then EigenLayer can use those restaking power for other consensus networks. That's technically providing the issuer with money goods. Another case, if you have to deposit a large amount in a lending, borrowing, money market, Aave style, and then you get the airdrop, then that's kind of a, farming campaign. Okay, I get what they mean. So it should not be based on how much money you have deposited in a direct conversion. So let's say you deposit $100 million, you get like $1 million airdrop. You deposit $100, you get $1 airdrop. It shouldn't be like that. It should be more based on just one-time participation per wallet address, like activity, way less so about how much money you're providing. So you have to do more like organic airdrop for a wide audience instead of just you deposit to farm an airdrop. Long story short, what's the takeaway for today? In this document, it outlines 16 different digital commodities, which are all very clearly layer 1 or layer 2 blockchains. So that's the clearest way. If you are a fan of a crypto project, they best be running some sort of consensus algorithm, paying gas fees, having governance. Because in the upcoming Clarity Act, there should be a process in which these can graduate to become digital commodities. That's for utility tokens. So I think if you run a layer 1 blockchain, you should aim for the style of Ethereum, Solana, XRP. Well, not XRP as much, but more like Tezos, Aptos, Polkadot. Okay, staking, proof of stake, governance, fees, gas fees. If your favorite project is a DeFi project, they should aim for things like Chainlink. Okay, running a validator network, providing Oracle services within DeFi. If your favorite project is a proof of work coin, then you should directly aim for, what Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bitcoin Cash does. If your coin is a payments coin, like some sort of payment network that is not so much for smart contracts, you should aim for to be similar to XRP, Stellar Lumens, HBAR. Even though those are layer 1 blockchains, but they are more meant for the global payment network side rather than smart contract side. And then you have the second category, which are digital collectibles. So most notably, anything that's very top-end NFT, like CryptoPunks, sure, CryptoPunks is going to be a long-term valuable thing. Let's just say that. Chromie Squiggles, some sort of generative art NFT will be around still, similar to Chromie Squiggles. You have fan tokens, football club tokens, rugby, soccer, basketball, baseball. You have maybe something related to metaverse and maybe something related to meme coins, but those two are very unclear what the path will be for other metaverse tokens, gaming tokens, or there's actually no mentions of gaming tokens at all except for this V coin, which is a digital collectible. It's unclear how gaming, metaverse, memes will become not securities. There isn't a clear path yet. Digital tools. Clearly, something related to ENS will be interesting. I think ENS will continue to have value. Tickets, NFT tickets will continue to have value. Memberships, probably a big area. So I really like NFT membership that you can trade. So probably going to look to put some money there as we get closer to the passing of the Clarity Act, especially if they get mentioned. And then stablecoins, obviously not much to talk about. Digital securities. So this is more about when you issue certain coins, what are the ways you can issue them to make them safer? So if you do if you release your supply through mining, that's great. If you release your supply through staking, also very good. If you do an airdrop, you want to aim for a wide net of airdrop participants instead of telling them exactly what to do. Hey, you stake $1,000, you get $10. That's not okay. You need to be very like organic, try our thing, join our Discord kind of thing, and you don't want to make it a farming campaign. And that's it. So this is actually a very crypto centric doc and guideline. So I'll end with this. What's the state of this document? So currently, the legal standing is this took effect as of March 23rd when it got into the Federal Register. So this isn't a formal rulemaking yet, but it is an interpretive rule. So what that means is it immediately replaces the 2019 SEC staff framework for investment contract analysis, aka the SEC staff clearly made statements before on only 4 categories: stablecoins, meme coins, mining, and staking. They didn't have digital collectibles, digital commodities. Now these are in there. It is not binding yet in federal court. So a court could still disagree with the interpretation. But this is just what the SEC says. So this is a SEC document. So at least the SEC will not look at these rules and say, hey, we're going to take you to court, even though we have this. But if there is a court ruling, it could still disagree with this. It's not binding. The SEC explicitly says it may refine, revise, or expand upon this interpretation. The SEC is still accepting public comments, and based on the feedback, it will be adjusted. So probably this is a living document that will carry on into the Clarity Act. So more things will be included. More steps will be included, such as the graduation process from a digital security to a digital commodity or a digital collectible. That's not in this yet. But this will evolve into the Clarity Act, which makes it also permanent. So the implication is that it is the strongest regulatory clarity that crypto has ever had for altcoins and for not even altcoins, but NFTs. It is not permanent yet, and it could still be revised by the SEC, and it could be overturned by a future SEC and challenged in court. However, if all of these makes its way into the Clarity Act this year, over the next 2 months is the period where the Clarity Act really could come into fruition, then that makes it permanent. So that's how it connects it to the Clarity Act. It's a bridge. They call it themselves. The SEC calls this a bridge to work with the Congress in order to have a permanent legislation as the Clarity Act. So that's why this is just as important as what they are discussing in the Clarity Act. So a lot of these things will make it into that bill, and that bill is, if it gets passed, will be permanent. Okay, so that is why it's very significant, very important. At the very least, these guidelines tells us that the SEC will not go after these 16 coins again. Okay, unless they come out with a new guideline overturning themselves. And then we also know this is the direction that the SEC wants to work into the Clarity Act to make it into the real law, the real framework to govern crypto altcoins. The real decision here in terms of law that's permanent, it's still the Clarity Act, whether it gets passed or not, and the voting process in the Senate calendar. So the next 6 weeks from now until end of April is still key. It will decide whether this becomes a clear foundation, the clear law, or if it's just going to be like in limbo again, where the SEC has a rough document, but then maybe next year they come up with another set of rules overturning all of this. So far, so good, but we need it to be in the Clarity Act to have it inked. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you catch our future live streams Monday to Friday right around 2 p.m. Eastern. And follow me on X at VirtualBacon for day-to-day alpha, quick drops of summaries of these documents as they come out. I'll put them out. I will put them out as text formats before these in-depth videos. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video and the next live stream.